All right, you're good.
Cool. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. I believe my co-host will be here in a bit, but we'll just get the ball rolling. Hello everyone. So welcome to Effective Event Planning, hosted by um, me and Hannah Lamb. So I believe I will go ahead. Oh my God. Hopefully you can't hear my computer having a moment. It sounds like a jet engine, but give me a second. I hit next. Cool. Hello, everyone. Okay, so we'll go ahead and introduce myself. Hannah will be here in a bit, but I'll introduce her too before we get into the workshop. So my name is Kyle San Jose. My pronouns he, him, his. I just recently graduated at UC Irvine, and my recent positions that are pretty relevant for just this workshop is I was the immediate past district convention chair, and then I don't think Hannah's here yet, but and my co-host, she'll be here shortly. Her name is Hannah Lamb, pronouns she, her, hers. School is she's from UC San Diego, and she is the current decon chair. So yeah, so wow, 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 wow. So yeah, before we get going into the workshop, I just wanted to kind of get the vibe check of the room. But I just wanted to ask you guys a question. What are some events that you guys are like planning, like, or excited to be planning, or things that are coming up for your like club and stuff like that? You guys feel free to unmute if you want to just like shout it out, or you can even type it in the chat and I'll just read it out. I just want to get like the vibe, like what are you guys planning for like this upcoming term in regard to like events? Okay, I just realized I don't really see the chat, but I think I saw there's a lot of end of the year banquets, I believe, because it is almost the end of the term and whatnot and stuff like, well, it is the end of, it passed the end of the term, but it's close to the end of the school year. But yeah, let's see what else. Service, I see a lot of service event for club wise, end of the year banquet, social interclubs that are coming up. I see Discord study socials, board bonding, family socials, services. Okay, let's see. More service. Yeah, definitely. Oh, family competitions. Let's see. All right, sounds good. Yeah, so definitely, yeah, those are all amazing. I hope you guys are excited for to plan those events. So definitely this workshop is just for you. This workshop is gonna like entail like different forms of events. They don't have to be for large scale. They'll be small scale, large scale fellowship, service, fundraising, all that jazz and stuff like that right now. But yeah, hopefully you guys are super excited for a planning event, and hopefully this workshop helps you when you plan it. And I think my co-host should be here. I believe, hold up. Um, okay, I am just gonna go ahead and move on. But yeah, so just an overview for our workshop. We'll be having some first is brainstorming and preparation for your event. Second is just like communication and team management for your event. Marketing, because marketing is very important to get your event to like go pop in so people can join. We're going to be talking about the day of your event, and then we're also going to be talking about post event. Oh my God, I see my co-host. And also just a disclaimer, since we want to make this workshop as like interactive as possible, after certain major like key points, we're going to be having scenario situations, and it's going to be, oh my God, what happened? Scenario situations where I want you guys to kind of like give your like ideas on how you would like kind of solve that situation of stuff like that. So it's like kind of like you got to get like 2 for 1, especially you get the workshop and also get the perspectives of like your other from the other people in the workshop and stuff like that. But yeah, I think Hannah's here now. And I already did this part, so you should be good. You're good, Queen.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. So we'll go ahead and move on to the first one. So brainstorming. So before you start planning your event and stuff like that, you want to ask yourself the purpose. Like, you can't just like go into the event like I'm gonna plan an event, but you have to know what like your purpose is. So ask yourself, what is the purpose? Are you planning a service project? Is it going to be a small scale, large scale, tabletop? Is it a fundraising event? Are you raising for one of the DFIs or raising for your club administrative funds? Is it like a professional development kind of thing? Like, are you doing is your MD need like chairs at your clubs, or even on the district level or division level? Are you guys doing like a workshop to help better your members like leadership skills and all that stuff? Or is it just going to be like a fellowship activity, as mentioned like earlier? Are you guys doing like family competitions? Are you guys doing like socials for your clubs to get to know each other and everything? So you have to really ask yourself like, what is your overall purpose? That's like the best like start of like how you're going to plan your event. And after you get like your purpose and stuff like that, you want to ask yourself, who is your audience? Is it just specifically for your club members? Or is it for like the division? Or even is this like for the district? For club members, is it going to be like single service and they want to get your club members to get service hours? Is it a division event where it's like kind of like a DCM or something? Or even like a district event, kind of like this, obviously? You want to really check who your audience is and who you're kind of like directing this towards too. And then just like a really important note, as you open your event to like other divisions and stuff like that, you have to fill like necessary like paperwork and stuff like that. But obviously if it's within your own division, you should be good to invite the other clubs and stuff like that. But yeah. And then Sister Hannah.
Thank you, Kyle. So the second part of the brainstorming is like, what is the goal of the event? So it's like kind of saying like, why do you want the event, or like, what do you hope to gain? And you're trying to like see like what you want with how you want your event to look like before having the event. So kind of like set like realistic goals for your like event, knowing like your club size and like what you're trying to do for fundraising, like how much money are you aiming to raise? Like be realistic. Like if you only have like three members, like it's super hard but doable to like raise like $10,000. But like know like how much can you do for a service, like how many attendees like you want to get, and like know like the attendees portion, or know the attendees proportion of like the event, and like also like what kind of service event that you're gonna get, if that makes sense.
Cool. Thanks, Hannah. Yeah. So now that you're done with the brainstorming and stuff like that, you got like your idea what your event you're gonna be. Let's say I decide I'm doing a service event for my club, and like you have everything decided, you and your respective like people that are helping you make your event. You guys are all Gucci. You got it, the idea in your brain, and now you just need to like kind of like plan out and how to execute it. So now it's the preparation stage. So now you need to really consider like if it's like a small event, like a let's say tabletop service, obviously you might be able to plan it yourself. Like if it's just like making paper crayons and stuff like that for like one service hour, definitely you're able to like do it yourself. But for something like a large like service event, let's say like your club's annual service event or like a district event, you obviously are going to need a lot of help, just because you don't want to burn yourself out. You don't want to take up all those like roles, and then like you're going to be like working harder, and then like but you're just going to get really tired because you have your other priorities. So you want to build your team and your committee and stuff like that, whether that's based on application or based on an interest form. These are people that are going to help make your goal like achievable and stuff like that. So just determine how many individuals you need to accomplish your goal. So if it's like a smaller, maybe you want just like 2 other people. But if it's like a larger scale, maybe you want like 5+ people. It just really depends on how much you need as like the chair of your event and everything. And then you want to create a list of positions needed to execute your event. You can like appoint people, but if they don't really have a specific role, there's not really a point of having your team. You want to kind of like divide it. So like, for example, if I have to really think about it on like a district level, like let's say like STC committee, and decon committee, they have like certain roles to really get their goal of their event like through like to the district and stuff like that. Yeah, and then the next thing you want to really consider is like the date and location of like your event and everything like that. So you want to review rule of thumb, when you're deciding on the date of your event, you want to make sure you review your clubs, divisional, and the district calendar just to ensure there's no overlap. Because, you know, let's say if you have another club event and you decided to do it like 2 days after, and especially if your events are like, if you're charging or anything, you don't want to like pack too many things in one weekend because you don't want to like burn out like your membership and everything. So really taking consideration on then like when your event and what other things are already planned. And like, so definitely just communicate that with like your like board officers who are planning events. And then for divisional, definitely contact your LTG like when they're like planning events. And then district, you obviously will see it on like the district website and like the calendar and all that stuff. Also, really keep in mind, look on your own school's calendar, you know, like you don't want to plan an event, like your biggest event that you're looking forward to every year. You don't want to plan it like in final season, you know, like a lot of people are going to just prioritize school because you are a student first and then like Circle K and all that stuff. So really check in your school's calendar. Is it midterm season, final season? You really want to take that into consideration. The next thing is like your location, you know, where are you going to have your event? If this is like a small scale and you can just have it at school, that's very accessible. But if it's like, for example, like something that needs to be taken outside of like school, and it's like, for example, like let's say like a beach cleanup or like any like revitalization service project, you want to try to make sure your location's accessible and close as possible. Like you don't want to like have like people like going super far, because then that adds like the fact that you're gonna have to find like drivers and all that thing and all that stuff like that. So you want to try to make your location accessible, since you are planning this event for your members, not for like kind of your own personal gain, but like for your members. You want to try to make it accessible enough for so they can go and stuff like that. And then lastly, does your location require drivers, or is it paid admission? Like, are you gonna be charging people and you're gonna be like using it for like for the DFIs or something like that, or is it gonna be free? And then again, if all these factors that add in, you have to make sure you take account of it. And then obviously you'll like plan that out with your committee or like your team that you're planning this event for and everything. But yeah. So next slide.
So with like planning your event, yeah, also have to think about budget. So like try to like determine like what your budget, what you want for your budget for the event that you're planning to do. If it's like a larger scale event, know that your budget is going to be like a lot more. So ask your like club treasurer or the person who's in charge of your finances to see like what is manageable and what is doable for the event that you are trying to plan. For example, for FTC and Decon, like the budget, we are trying to like see how many people is going to the event, and that's how we're planning for the budget, is to see like how many attendees that we can get, and from that like budget, like that's how we will know like how to like see which position gets like the amount of budget. So you for the positions, like you create a list of materials and supplies that you need. Number one tip is spreadsheets with items, prices and links for purchases. I know when I was doing decon, Kyle had a really nice like budget list of like what items you wanted to buy, and then the quantity of the items and how much it is cost per unit, and then whether or not like we have to like we have to think about like shipping and handling, taxes and all this stuff, or whether or not like you can like get it on get it in person to like decrease like the shipping and handling. Another like tip is keep your keep your receipts for reimbursement. I know for committees, if they are doing more than 25, you have to like do like a different like or a different form. But I also know that when I was a fam head for UCC Circle K, we would just fill out like a form for our treasurers, and like that's like how they kept track of what our spending is and like our like budget, and see like how much so we don't like go over the budget. And then next slide.
Well, cool. Yeah, so that's all for like preparation wise for your event. Okay, here. Now you're at the communication and your team management. Now you're really getting the ball rolling for your event, you know? Like you got all the preparation, all the things that you need to get done for this event. You know the purpose, you know your audience, you now know what you need to get done prior to planning your event. Now it's just the whole point of just kind of that little like time period of when it's going to your event. So all the like little nitty gritties and everything. So communication, you're gonna hear the communication like literally everywhere. Like you can literally apply communication to everything, but in respect to planning your event, whether it's a small scale, your appointed board thing, your independent chairs, district, division, anything like that, just make sure you communicate regularly with the parties that your event is involved with. So for example, let's say your MD&E chairs are planning a workshop about, let's say, I don't know, about the DFIs, you know, make sure you are communicating between like the e-board and then the appointed board and then also the workshop host. You want to make sure they know what's happening. You don't want there to be any like disconnect between like the line of like planning, you know, for example, like the workshop, if they need to let them know like where they're going to be presenting and stuff like that and everything. And then if your event gets or if you're planning for your school, like large scale event or even division, make sure you let your advisors know. You have advisors for a reason. So you have to make sure you kind of communicate with them. They usually, not usually, most of the time, or actually all the time, they usually do provide you with some of the best advice. You like kind of like slip up and stuff like that in your head when you're planning. So definitely communicate with them just in case there's any like legality things that like that might arise, but definitely communicate with your advisors when you're planning your event and stuff like that. And then for other stuff like utilize club and district board. I like promise you like from like own district board experience, definitely like if you want like your event to get like pop in and you want people to like come to your event or like hear about it or you want people to come just to get some like traction stuff, like definitely contact your district board, like your respective LTGs. Like they're there to like they're like your number one fan and stuff like that. They're there to like support you from like start to end, you know. So if like definitely communicate with them and they'll like be glad to help you. I know I love going to like my club events and stuff like that because it was like really fun. And then when you communicate, make sure you communicate in like a professional tone, you know. You are, this is like kind of like business kind of related. So you want to just make sure you're speaking as professional and mature as possible. That's like that's on email or even face to face. So moving on to the like next point, just make sure you regularly check your emails and messages. I know sometimes we get a little overwhelmed and we forget, just like, so whenever you're like free and all that stuff, definitely check your emails and messages because most likely if you are the chair of your event, there's going to be a lot of people asking you for like questions about the logistics, the date and everything. So definitely keep checking your emails and messages. Yeah, next is team management. Now you have your team, you're getting your stuff done. So just to also determine like if your event's large enough where you need to have like reoccurring meetings, really determine how often you're going to have those meetings. For example, if it's like your independent chair that happens like once a year, maybe you might have your meetings every other week or once a month, or if it's like a district event, you know, serve event, because the last thing you really want to experience is like it's like a week before your event and you realize none of the stuff got done. So definitely check in on them, whether that's on email or even Facebook and stuff like that. Send out meeting recaps with assignments. This really helps consolidate like the overall like tasks that need to get done at hand. So after you have your meeting, definitely send out a little recap of what just happened and everything, and it'll definitely work out. And then make sure you delegate tasks and set deadlines. You can definitely delegate tasks, but if you don't set deadlines, um, no one really knows when it's going to get done. It kind of adds that like slight pressure of like when things need to get done. And like rule of thumb, try to like make sure you don't give them too much time or even too little time, because too little time, they're going to have like trouble balancing out. If you give them too much time, they might end up just like forgetting about it and push it till the end. So just kind of get like a little in between that and stuff like that. But now that you have gone through the communication, preparation, and brainstorming, you guys are pretty well equipped on kind of like planning. So Hannah, would you like to introduce, I believe it's the first scenario?
Okay, can y'all hear me now? Okay, cool, cool. So for the first scenario, we're just gonna do communication style or a communication scenario. So the scenario is for Hannah's event, she has to work with food vendors to sell on the day of her event. A few weeks prior to her event, she hasn't heard any news or updates from one of her vendors. What should Hannah do during the situation? We're just gonna break y'all off into breakout rooms. And then have y'all discuss. Wait, do you want breakout rooms or should we just discuss as like a whole?
We can just discuss as a whole since I think we have like 15 minutes left. So yeah, feel free. If you're a little shy, feel free to type in the chat what you would do. Or if you want to be like a brave soldier, be out there, definitely. I don't know if I can see the raise hands, but if you want to, we'll call on you. And then, yeah, we'll spend like 5 minutes. But yeah, anyone want to give their point of view? This is a good way for all of you guys to kind of hear different perspectives, how to do this on to help with you, because maybe you guys might have different perspectives from each other on how to solve it.
Also, if you are shy, you can just message one of us and we'll just say your answer. Someone said in the chat, maybe try to follow up with a phone call or email if they haven't replied yet. Ooh, the chat is going really fast. Another person said, send kind reminders to vendors via email. Definitely reach out through phone and email. I definitely agree. Oh, and also ask which one is their preferred contact method. Follow with like a non-responsive vendor, but get a new vendor ASAP. I would give them 1 day to reply or else. Another one is openly communicate. It'll be a good idea to take the first step and reach out to them. Another one would go through phone, so it's a more quicker and more direct. Also, when you go through phone, definitely check like their business hours and see like notice like the times for rushes and like all the times that like they might not like answer their phones. So like try to like do times that like are not like lunch rushes or like dinner rushes, because that means that they'll like answer their phone more. Try email and wait for a little bit and reach out through phone, since there is a higher chance that they will answer faster. Make contact with like vendors. So like, yeah, a lot of the suggestions are like make contact with vendors through like different types of communication. Also look at like alternates, like have backup like vendors to see if like they are able to do it at a such a short notice. Um, but yeah, definitely reach out to like a board to plan like a new plan and see if there's any ideas.
Wow. You guys have such amazing answers. No, yeah, definitely. And I don't think we mentioned in the preparation, definitely create backup plans. I don't know why we didn't add that, but definitely create backup plans, you never know what's gonna happen, like, yeah, you'll never know what's gonna happen. So definitely what you guys said in your thing, in your responses, definitely backup plans, and always like regularly communicate with them. And then if not, make sure to set like a, oh my God, Hannah, your background. Make sure to set that kind of foundation with whoever you're contacting on like how you want to contact them and regularly schedule with them. Because, if you set that foundation, they'll be aware of that and everything. But yeah, good job, everyone. Okay, and I believe the next slide is again you, Hannah.
Thank you. Yeah, with the background, I tried. So the next part of like event is like try to market. I feel like marketing is like a really key like aspect of your event, because if you have a good event but you don't market as well, like there's not going to be like a lot of people that are going to know about the event or like come out to the event. So a form of marketing is like club and divisional Facebook pages. Also creating graphics and publicity videos, especially towards the for the theme of your graphics, or for the theme of your event, what are you trying to like look at? Like, what is your color palette, your typography, or like what assets that you want people to know, like that is my event. So you can incorporate that into your graphics. Creating like Facebook event pages and individually inviting like people to like so they can get like the notification like, oh, blank invited you to like this event, so like they can like know more about it, because I feel like a lot of people don't like see it in their timeline, but like if they see it on like their notification, they're more likely to like click going or like maybe going to like an event. Also utilize your PR chair. Like they make great graphics for a reason, and so you should take advantage of their graphics. Also collaborate with like your LTGs. I think especially if you have like a district wide event, telling your LTGs to promote it to like their like division is a good way to like bump up your numbers and also like to have more attendees. Some tips or tricks is like creating an overall timeline of when you want to post. So kind of like knowing what times that people would like check Facebook or like Instagram, setting like that timeline on like what is like an optimal time frame that like people would like see like the post and like most interact with them, and like kind of like see like the activity during that time. Another thing is creating a marketing resource to share to officers to utilize. For example, like creating your like graphic assets or like social media post templates, or like handbooks, or like even slides to present during like their meetings. That's also a good way to market and like kind of have your event more known. Next slide.
Wow. Thank you, Hannah. And also, most importantly, again, make sure you follow graphic standards. Please don't make the district's communication marketing chair work more harder than they should. If you guys need any like help with that, definitely contact us. Contact the district CNM chair, and literally you can find all of it on the resources on the CNH Circle K website. They have a beautiful organized handbook just for you guys on figuring that out and everything. But yeah, so now we will move on to the next scenario. So Kyle is planning his end of the year large scale service project and is posting advertising graphics on Instagram only. What is wrong with just posting on Instagram, and what can you suggest to help Kyle advertise? So same thing, feel free to either raise your hand or even like type in the chat and we'll definitely read it out. Want to get your guys' ideas. How would you help better market your event, you know? Yeah, definitely. Jonathan said like some people might not have Instagram, so that might not be very accessible. Yeah, I guess same thing. Like not everyone might not be on Instagram. Definitely pub on all platforms. The main key when you're marketing is definitely accessibility. You want to make sure it's accessible to everyone. See, someone said Instagram has limited features for sharing and may not reach a lot of people. No, definitely. Like you can't really like it doesn't look too like pleasing the eye if you have like a really big block of text at the bottom and stuff like that as your caption. Using only Instagram limits your audience, so you need to reach out through other platforms. Definitely not everyone is super aesthetic IG person, so you got to go on other platforms like Discord for gamers, Facebook for boomer. Oh my God, TikTok for zoomer, I'm dead. It might be difficult for members to remember the event since they only see it once. For example, Facebook allows for reminders. No, yeah, definitely. You got to really think about like the features of like whatever social media. I know Instagram doesn't do reminders, but Facebook does. Suggest other platforms. No, definitely. By posting solely on Instagram, Kyle's alienating a large chunk of potential attendees. You should seek other platforms. Definitely. You should share the content on as many social media as possible. Let's see, better format, diversify your advertising, and also Insta algorithm is bad. So like it won't have, no, yeah, definitely. No, those are all amazing responses. So rule of thumb, the more areas you're able to cover, the more likely your event is gonna like be more successfully marketed and everything. But thank you so much, everyone. So go ahead and move on. I believe it's me again. Oh my God, the chat is like blocking the text. Okay, now it's the day of your event. Woo, woo, woo. It's the day of your event. You've been waiting for this for so long. So what do you have to do on the day of your event? So make sure you have a already created checklist prior to your event starting. So a checklist basically is just like a rundown of what needs to get done prior, just like last minute checks. So it shouldn't be something that should take longer than like an hour, like everything should be already prepared. This is just like safety measures. So things like want to make sure all the supplies and materials are ready to go. If you need volunteers for your event, like for example, like SAs or something, or people to help like manage booths and stuff like that, make sure you have those. If you're doing like paid attendance and they require waivers and registration forms, make sure you have some extra on hand just in case someone wasn't able to like fill them out and everything. And then the next thing is setting up technology. So that, for example, if you're having like workshops and you need like a presentation thing, make sure that's set up prior. So rule of thumb, make sure you arrive at your location early, depending on how much time you need to set up. Obviously, if it's just a workshop in like one of your classrooms, you don't need to come like 5 hours prior. You just like rule of thumb, kind of like 30 minutes, just get the slides going and let the technology like warm up. If it's like a service event and you need to grab like tables to reserve for your club members, or you have to go somewhere, give it like an hour just so you can like make sure the like tables are all ready and you have all your service like things like necessary. And if it's like a large scale event, let's say large scale event, like I don't know, like a large 24-hour service marathon or your large scale fundraising, make sure you come in at least maybe more than, I just put 4 to 5 hours. It really depends, but definitely a couple more hours ahead of time, just so you can make sure everything's set up. So by the time your guests or attendees arrive, everything's like ready to go. And they're like, wow, this is amazing, And then make sure you check in with each of your committee/team members. You want to make sure they're doing okay. You may be really stressed. They're most likely stressed too. So make sure you check in with them, that they have everything. You as a chair, you're basically also their number one fan. You're the like hype person. So you want to make sure they're doing okay. Just remember, if anything goes wrong, keep calm and effectively assess the situation with your team. Definitely the main goal is to recover as quickly as possible. And again, don't stress too much out. Like, nothing's like perfect. And if something goes wrong, it's fine. Just work with your team and you guys can get through the event. And make sure you take breaks throughout the event. Even though this is your event and you're expected to like be on top of your toes, make sure you take a break. It can be really draining for like your mental health, physical health, and all that stuff. So if like you need to take a break, even as a chair, if you need to take a break, definitely ask one of your committee members to kind of like fill in for the meantime while you go get a drink of water and you just like sit down. So rule of thumb, take a break. Don't overexert yourself too much. And I believe the next one is another scenario. Hannah, yeah, Hannah, you can read it. You can read it.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so for talking about like the day of the event, scenario 3 is Kyle and Hannah have made it to the day of their event. Event district convention. They arrived 10 minutes before the event of their before the start of their event. They realize they need more time to set up for their event. What could Hannah and Kyle have done differently to avoid this? Yeah, feel free to type it in the chat, or if you want to unmute, you can also do that. Or if you're shy, you can also just PM me or Kyle and we can read it too. Get there more than 10 minutes early. Definitely agree. Any other, okay. Arrive around 4 to 5 hours before that. Else, if budgeting isn't a concern, hire a team to set up for the convention. For a large scale, definitely need more than 10 minutes. Yes. I agree. Like what Kyle said before, it also depends on like the event that you have, but like being this like as a large scale service, or as a large scale event, like you definitely need more than like 10 minutes. Start the day before or grab more people to set up. Always give yourself extra buffer time for the unexpected, and if it's too late, just come up with some spontaneous event to keep people occupied while you set up. I think that's also a really good idea, like kind of like fake it till you make it, and like kind of make it seem like you are you have this planned, but in reality it's not. Frantically look for people to help. You can definitely ask like your committees or like other people that like that like would be down to help. um Maybe have a team to hold each other accountable and have time to set up to meet or set time to meet up. Review how long it takes to set up before the event gets closer. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. Also to like know um like when you can take your breaks or like when like people like are less like busy, so you can know like how like the event is gonna go and stuff. Any other suggestion? I don't think there's any other suggestions, but all the suggestions that are really that are sent in the chat are really good.
Yeah. And this situation is very, very unlikely. This will never happen and stuff like that. But yeah, so definitely when at the beginning, when you're in the preparation, when you have your planning timeline, definitely include what's going to be happening on the day of the event. Like, as you guys said, like set up a couple, either day, hours, minutes, not minutes, oh my God, hours or days before and everything. But yeah, yes, got to prepare for the unexpected. And then I think the next one's you again, Hannah.
Sounds good. So for the post event, like, okay, yes, your event happened, but there are other things that you have to think about post event, such as remember to clean up and gather all your belongings after the event, especially if like some of like the venue like charges you if you don't clean up, so you have to clean up. Also release and collect feedback using like event feedback form that can be sent like through Google form, or you can have like a Q, or not a QR code, but like a QR code to a Google form, or if you want to like have like feedback like boxes that you can have that during like the convention and stuff. Another thing is to like set up a post um, event team meeting to discuss feedback. I think this helps, especially when you want to talk about like pros and deltas and like talk about like how we can do better for like the next committee. Also, it's like a good debrief if you ever need to do like another large scale a large scale event and think about it. So at the very end, you can compile all the pros and deltas for the like yeah, basically what I said. Compile all the pros and deltas for the next event or for the next chair, or if you ever like want to like do like a large scale project, you can think about all these like topics that you talked about, even if you don't do like a event similar to that, the one that you just did.
Cool, cool, cool. So the next thing, we're almost closer, and we're gonna probably make the advice part really quick because we want to hear questions from you because we have 3 minutes. So I'm probably just gonna give you like two. Just from advice from me, definitely, even if you are not a board member, definitely you can still plan an event. You know, definitely talk to the board, and they're not gonna like the worst thing they can say is no, but they want to see their general members like grow as like leaders. So definitely you're able, there's so many opportunities in Circle K to plan an event, whether you're the chair or you're just part of the committee. Like either your club committees, they plan for their events, divisional leadership teams, they plan events and stuff like that. And slight pub, you know, district committee applications. There's a lot of committees that plan events, you know. So there's so many opportunities. It's just a matter of how you like take it. And then advice, just make sure you know like your own priorities. I mentioned it earlier, but like as like when I was like chair for decon, just like really know your own priority, know like how your life is going right now. Kind of give yourself a vibe check, you know, really check how your life is going. Like, do you have like work, school, like really try to balance it out. So I highly suggest like get some form of like planner. It really helps kind of manage your like time and all that stuff. Those are like some really big like overall key things. I have so many more, but like those are like my really important ones and stuff like that. But Hannah, do you have any advice?
Thank you, Kyle, for your advice. So for my advice, I think like um on one of the slides, like I think communication, wow, I can't talk, but communication is key. I feel like you have to like have like everyone like know what they're doing and like kind of like vibe check like how you're doing and see like how to like access like the event and stuff. Someone did ask like, do you recommend like having incentives for feedback, maybe a gift card? I think that's like a good idea, but also like know like um what kind of like feedback that you want and whether or not like would an incentive such as a gift card like be like valuable for like the amount of feedback that you want, especially for like a large scale event. Like I think having an incentive would be good, but I think like for a smaller scale, like asking like the people there or like asking like messaging them like after, I think that's a good way to do it and like without an incentive. So I think it depends on like your event and whether or not like or how much feedback that you want for the event. Um, Another like advice that I have is the planner one. I use like Google Calendar, just so like it like syncs into my phone to see like on like reminders or like kind of notes that I have, so I don't like always forget and stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, anyone have any questions? This is the last time. I believe we have like a minute, but we can answer real quick questions. But if we can't, definitely contact us. Yeah, does anyone have any quick questions before we move on to the next thing that happens, STC? Anyone? Do I see any questions? Feel free to type in the chat if you're a little shy or yeah. No, no question. Oh,
Oh, oh.
yeah. Someone asked, do we get a copy of the presentation? I believe they'll have it available. Correct me if I'm wrong, they'll have it available. I know we're recording it, so they'll be having the recording also, but I believe they will, correct me if I'm wrong, have a copy for you guys too. But if they don't give it, feel free to, here's our contact information. Feel free to email us and we can send it to you. Yeah, and then yeah, don't forget to sign in. Make sure you get like credit and stuff like that. There's a QR code, and I believe also Johnny put in in the chat to make sure to sign in. But that's basically the end of our workshop. So thank you guys so much for coming, and yeah, hopefully all your events will go amazing. I'm graduating, but I would love to go. I would love to go to them. Honestly, invite everyone. I would love to go to your events and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yes, exactly what Kyle said. I'm not graduating, but so I can't go to your event. So yeah, invite me. If I'm free, I will definitely try to go. But I hope this presentation helps you and hope this presentation helps and hope it like gives you a sense of like how event planning can go.
Yeah, I believe the next thing that's happening is, oh my God, thank you, Professor. I, um, I think I believe the next thing that's happening is social event / club bonding at 4:05. So you have like, I can't math, 13 minutes.